Hi, I'm Eric Charles, Vice President, Solutions Evangelist for Xactly, joined today by Michelle Howard from our product team. And we were talking about the challenges to the sales leader in the marketplace. And one of those is that sales leaders have this tendency to go with their gut. You know, what has worked for them in the past? What have they seen in the past? And that's a good place to start. But I would say we try to follow the scientific method for a lot of our work on the insights product line at Xactly. And gut should set your hypothesis. Data is what you then chase down to make your decisions. But finding the data that a sales leader needs to review their team, understand their team, and monitor their team can sometimes be difficult. It's scattered. Some of it's in the CRM, some of it's in the ERP, some of it's in the HR system, and each one of those is like, because I want to know how long is, what's the average tenure on my team, or how many people do I have in that, first year getting up to speed, in that years 2 to 3 when now they're doing pretty well, and then of course the critical years 3 to 5 when they're the most productive, which is a number that Michelle's been worked on the research and we've talked about in the past. So I wanted Michelle to come in and share the Insights product with me to show me all of the information that's right at the fingertips of a truly informed sales leader. So Michelle, I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks, Eric. I think what you're saying about the gut intuition is very true. And what's great about our Insights application is that it allows you to sort of drill down into really looking at a granular perspective of your team. So here, this is our main Insights dashboard. I'm logged in as Barbara Wilson, who is, for all intents and purposes, a more senior executive within the sales organization. So she could be the CRO, she could be, an SVP, something like that. This shows her on the left. The overview is how many individuals are in her organization. So she has 72 individuals over 4 geographic regions. And her attrition rate is relatively low. So she has about 14% attrition, which is pretty good for her team. Kind of the main section here is this all individuals, where you look at quota attainment year over year. And so last year at this point, she was at 52% with her team. And right now she's at 48. So trending close to how she was. Down here is an individual breakdown of her direct reports and how they're performing. So again, we have the year-to-date attainment compared to year over year. And then as we can see, Brandon here is flagged as a high attrition risk. Now, when we drill in, the system has actually flagged this and has said that there's been significant turnover within this team. And it breaks it down further to say some of these people were here for a long time. Some of them were top performers. So the system provides you with these key indicators to help continue to sort of drill down and find out what happens next. So if we go into Brandon's screen specifically, on the left, we see that this is the team that he's on that's reporting to Barbara. And then here is his individual team. So we see Chris Walker has been flagged as a high attrition risk. And so when I click on Chris, we look at, this is Chris's team. So obviously Chris reports to Brandon, reports to Barbara.
Mm-hmm.
And we can see that you've got a couple of, we'll talk about these indicators up here first, but look at the bottom, look at all these red dots. Maybe these are folks that are clearly low performers, folks that haven't sold anything, not, even maybe these two are 14 and 15 of Sam and Carl, maybe just have not been making any sort of deals as of right now. And looks like they're new because they don't have a, year over year.
Prior year. Of course, I also might comment that Chris might have too many direct reports, but that'll be another conversation for the future.
Could be. That's a lot. But at the same time, so he has a fairly significant section of where he should be paying attention, which is bringing his overall score down. But then when you look up here, he has a high performer, Tony, who is obviously very close, 81% of his quota, 85% so far. I mean, he's obviously doing very well. But then you have this moderate attrition risk in Steve Wilcox. And it says it's a 70% likelihood that he might leave the organization. So if we continue, it says his low incentive attainment to quota attainment ratio. Reps typically, like him, are receiving 18% higher. That looks like 16. 16% higher incentive attainment and 18% higher pay and performance ratio. So obviously he might be looking. Obviously he might be in the market saying, like, I know I'm good. I know that I can make more money, and I might not be getting that within this organization. So as a sales leader, what this really is important, it just kind of helps to illuminate that there could be a problem that you could easily fix before it's too late.
Yeah, because I mean, the
Values.
biggest trick for a sales leader is not just obviously their quota is their goal, but it's the management of that team and getting. How often is this information refreshed?
Often. It's often. Yeah.
That's I guess it's dependent on how often a company runs their
Right.
commission plan. So,
Right.
yeah, no, this is critical information. Thank you very much for joining me today. I appreciate your time, and you have a great
Welcome.
day.
Thanks for having me. You too.